Hi everyone, Scott back again. Luckily my camera suddenly seems to have started working again. I'm glad about that. That means I can do some more videos of a higher picture and sound quality, whereas my webcam and direct recording on my laptop doesn't seem to work as well. Or maybe it's just the transferring process, the compression of video in order to upload it to YouTube. I find that degrades sound. And the one thing that I don't want degraded is sound, because, however, clearly or not clearly you can see me, what's really important is that, I be heard. Because I need to be heard! I need people to understand what I'm talking about! Anyway, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., of course, should be airing a new episode tonight. And so I wanted to talk about last week's episode as per usual. I will be discussing some big events and spoilers, and so you want to steer clear of this video if you haven't seen the episode. It's called The Only Light in the Darkness, and it's the second episode to take place in the bunker in Canada that Nick Fury has guided Coulson and his team to. So, spoilers. If you haven't seen the episode yet, it was last week, so hopefully you have, but if you haven't, please don't watch this until you get around to watching that on your DVR or on demand or whatever. I love on demand. It's so much fun. It's great. Almost everything I watch now is on demand. I almost never watch anything at the actual time that it airs, except Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because I need to see that stuff right away, as you know. So, the cellist in the Avengers, the cellist that Coulson mentions having a relationship with, and Downey speaks about at some point later on, turns out to be Amy Acker. Yay! Fred. And of course, Amy Acker's appeared in a couple of Joss Whedon projects. She played the female lead in Much Ado About Nothing. A fantastic performance from her in that movie. Really, really thought she was great in that movie. And she has a pretty minor role in this film, basically, as Audrey Nathan, the cellist, who Coulson had a relationship with and then had to break off contact with after it was reported that he died at Loki's hand. So she's been a bit fragile since then, and particularly since the guy Marcus Daniels, one of the dangerous guys being held in the fridge, got loose because he was the reason why she met Coulson in the first place. He was terrorizing her, was obsessed with her, and so Coulson swooped in with other agents to save the day, and thus they had a relationship. Yeah, Amy Acker really only has 3 scenes in this whole episode, which is a shame. Of course, you don't find out right away that she is the same cellist that had a relationship with Coulson until midway through the episode, but when they mentioned that she was a cellist, I'm like, that's a funny coincidence, isn't it? Also, of course, we have Patton Oswalt again. Again, spoiler here. Big spoiler, okay? I'm just giving you fair warning here. He gets killed, and that was really disappointing to me. I wanted to see more of him on this show, but Patton Oswalt's a very busy guy. He's got Rust Cole impersonations to do in web videos. If you're a True Detective fan, and other stuff like that. So presumably he couldn't commit to more than 2 episodes, but that's disappointing. He had 1 episode in Dollhouse, which is really great, one of the best episodes, and he has a lot of good stuff to do here, particularly his interrogation of the other members of Coulson's team who haven't been cleared by Fury. He has to put them through a big lie detector array, and that's pretty cool. I love when he introduces the machine to everyone. He said Nick Fury designed this machine. He wanted something that even Romanoff couldn't beat. And Ward says, did she? He'd be concerned about that because, of course, he's actually Hydra. Let's see now. Garrett, of course, has sent Ward to the bunker to reconnect with the team because the hard drive containing all the data on the various alien artifacts and whatnot needs to be decoded. Apparently the records don't exist anywhere else, not even at the fridge itself. Or maybe they just need to get clear of the fridge once they released everyone and got the weapons out. But apparently the only way that they can get access to the data on all the fridge artifacts and other possible weapons and advantages they can do is to get that hard drive decoded. And it's actually location specific. Apparently, Skye needs to actually take the hard drive to a specific place in order to decode it, or to decrypt it, whatever. So, you know, that's another little hiccup there. I'm not really sure what that's all about. But apparently, the guys think she's very clever for having done that. Seems a little inconvenient to me, but okay, whatever. So yeah, Marcus Daniels, the guy who can suck people's power, energy, life force, kind of like Kevin Bacon in X-Men First Class, it seems, is on the loose and after Audrey, the cellist, played by Amy Acker, and so the team is going to rush in and save the day, or at least Coulson is, because he feels a personal responsibility to protect her. And then you've got, he's bringing along Fitz and Simmons, of course, as well as Triplett. Oh, and during the interrogation, Triplett, we find out that Triplett is actually the grandson of one of the Howling Commandos. That's one of the original people on Captain America's team back in the 40s. I'm not familiar with all those guys enough to really know, you know, their names, unfortunately. I know one of them was played by, oh, what's that guy's name? I can't even remember. Anyway, yeah, the Howling Commandos, obviously, one of them, you know, was Triplett's grandfather, which is a nice little family connection there. Although they get to mention Captain America and Bruce Banner in this episode. Let's see. Skye's real name is Mary Sue Poots, or at least that's the name they gave her at the orphanage. She's just like, screw that noise, I'm calling myself Skye. And yeah, the interrogation itself is pretty cool, especially yeah, no, it's I'm just trying to think of what was like the highlight of it. I think Simmons and Fitz both answering the egg or stone question, egg or rock question, the exact same way was pretty cute. There was a yeah. when the Patton Oswalt character asks Ward more specific questions because he's getting flagged on the reason why he is here, you know, since S.H.I.E.L.D's been disbanded, he says, Skye, he says, I came back for her, I wanted to spend time with her, and he doesn't say why, of course, exactly, but that in and of itself is the truth, so apparently that enables him to pass the lie detector test. Plus he had like a little needle stuck underneath his fingernail to, you know, screw up the results so that he's, you know, because he's supposed to be in pain. He got beat up by Garrett, apparently. This is what he tells everyone, you know. Oh, he also lies about killing Garrett. So once members of the team run into Garrett again, they're going to know that Ward is actually not on their side. Don't know when that's going to happen. Garrett wasn't in this episode, of course, but presumably he'll be in at least one more episode. I think what I read is that Bill Paxton's supposed to be in 4 episodes total for the season. And he's been in at least 3, so I guess there's going to be one more. I don't know how many more episodes are in the season as in total. But yeah, I'm really not sure. There may be just a few more. I think this is episode 15, but I really can't be sure about that. I haven't checked. I try not to look too far ahead into future episodes. I just want to see each new one and get it as it comes, rather than always be looking ahead to what's happening. You know, I don't want to spoil things for myself, obviously. There's a funny little exchange when, before Fitz is about to leave with Simmons to go on the mission to help Audrey Nathan, Ward says to him, you know, you really ought to tell her, you know, if there's something you want to say to her, you ought to say it, because who knows how long you'll have. And he says, gee, you know, you don't sound like Ward at all. And Ward says, okay, do what you want, I don't care. And Fitz says, oh, great to have you back. That's funny. So with Daniels, they're going to basically zap him with a whole bunch of energy, gamma-based, with these sort of light implements. They're basically going to shoot gamma light at him or something like that in order to sap his power. But in order to do that, they need to draw him in, and they're going to basically have Audrey do a rehearsal, a performance rehearsal, because apparently this guy comes to all her rehearsals. So I'm thinking, okay, if they set up a rehearsal, how do they make sure that he knows about it? Why can they count on him just showing up at the rehearsal if it's just sort of a last-minute thing. I mean, because obviously they had to schedule it for soon, like that very night or the next night or something like that. How could they be sure that he'd know about it? But of course he shows up, they take him down, and of course Coulson doesn't let Audrey know that he's still around, of course, because he needs her to heal and move on and all that good stuff. Melinda May, of course, leaves the facility on her own. She says, look, Coulson doesn't trust me anymore, you know, and so I'm just going to go. You know, I mean, you know, he just can't get past it. And meanwhile, Coulson's saying, you know, I mean, I think really I ought to, you know, forgive May. But of course, once he gets back, he finds out that not only is she not there, but Ward and Skye aren't there either, because Ward says to Skye, hey, look, let's go back to that location where you can decode the hard drive so we can get a move on with stuff like that. Because what does he tell her? He tells her we need to get the specs on the Asgardian zapper from Peru. Of course, they already have that in their possession, but of course Skye doesn't know that. But she does figure out that Ward is in fact Hydra because she finds Patton Oswalt dead. She used the tracking device. He had the little tracking devices in each of their lanyards. That's like a great word. I have to remember that word, the lanyard, the little key card thingy. She finds him. He's dead. She figures out that Ward is actually Hydra, but she puts on a brave face and acts like nothing's wrong and goes with him on the plane. So that's where we sort of leave it. The team gets back to the base, and they're gone, and Skye and Ward are on their way in the bus, which has been fixed, to wherever it is that Skye can decode. So Skye's really, you know, in a tough spot there. She's going to have to deal with Ward all on her own, which I'm looking forward to seeing how that happens. So, yeah, that's about all. Ooh, yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. I saw S.H.I.E.L.D.'s name in the credits. I'm like, oh, I know her. She played one of the mothers in the Joy Luck Club. And sure enough, she plays Melinda May's mother, who picks her up at the end of the episode. They meet in Ontario. She gives her like a little envelope with some information in it. And she says, and May's mother says, she won't be hard to find. They're talking about someone named Maria. Who's that? No idea. Not a clue. I have no idea. I did figure out that the Emily Van Camp character in the Captain America movie, because her first name is Sharon, she must be Sharon Carter. Sharon Carter, right, that's right. The granddaughter of Peggy Carter. What do you know? Cap was into her back in the day, and now he's going to have a relationship with Sharon Carter in Captain America 3, probably? Yeah. That's how that stuff's supposed to work, I guess. It's a little strange, isn't it? Yeah. You'd think that he'd want to hook up with Romanoff, with Scarlett Johansson. I mean, why not? He did seem pretty impressed in the Avengers when he launched her off of his shield and she grabbed onto one of the Chitauri gliders. You see him, you know, he looks at her as she's flying off. He's like, wow, that's something else. So, I don't know, you'd think that he'd hook up with her, but apparently she's too cool to be in a relationship with anybody, especially not Captain America, because, you know, he doesn't have enough experience, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, pretty good episode. I like this better than the previous one, Providence. However, I'm not, the whole business with Marcus Daniels just seemed to be like sort of killing time. You know, a way for them to get most of the team away from the bunker so that Ward could deal with Skye sort of on his own and be bad and be a bad person, and then they take off. So that whole business right there just seems sort of like it was just an excuse to get them away. Kind of like how they created characters like General Grievous in order to get Obi-Wan away from Coruscant before the whole, you know, Purge of the Jedi went down in Revenge of the Sith. It kind of reminded me of that. But overall, fun episode. I'm enjoying it, and I'm probably going to enjoy this one tonight even more. So thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. Please comment on my Facebook page. The link to that is below if you've seen the episode and want to share your thoughts on this episode or the season in general, because it's going to be wrapping up pretty soon. Thanks again. Bye.